Yo, we're back. Birds of a feather, another week coming at you. Let's go.
Oh my God! I'm embarrassed! He's flying!
Welcome in. It's almost time.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, it's Birds of a Feather on A2D Radio, brought to you by Basio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pie, sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs. Make sure you mention A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. We are live on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere you download your podcast. So if you're listening to us live right now or on your commute, or on the way to the Bachelor's Bread. We greatly appreciate the support. It's Chucks, Jake, and PY. Pete Evans, Mr. OG Pete, is out tonight, most likely. So it's us three coming at you. So, boys, how's it going? How you doing? What's
Good. Good. June 1st is coming, so I'm excited. See what happens.
PY?
I'm hanging in there.
Hang in there.
I have not jumped off a bridge yet.
Okay. That's it.
I mean, it's been a rough month, man. It's been a rough fucking month.
I hear you. Well, we've got a good show again today. We are going to be talking about moves that we want to see. What if we were in the driver's seat and could make things happen? What would we do before, in terms of transaction wise around the league?
What Jake would
before
do.
the season starts? What would WWJD? What would Jake do? So we'll go around and give some ideas, and then of course, to finish out the show, we'll go no huddle. We're on our abbreviated show layout for this summer, so we haven't shorter shows coming at you all summer as we usually do every year, but it doesn't mean that the quality and the content is any less. We've got awesome football conversations. The first half of the show with our topic is brought to you by Alaska Travel, specializing in creating the vacation of your dreams at Disney, Universal, wherever your heart calls you. Let their talented team of travel experts, including myself and Andy Ritter of A2D Radio, create a custom vacation for you. Our poll question, gentlemen: Howie Roseman will make a trade for another wide receiver before week one. Agree or disagree? Jake, lead us off. What do you think?
In my heart of hearts, and this is just like what I want, yes. But in reality, no, I don't think so. I think he'll end up either signing a receiver or, I don't see him making a trade unless it's a deal that he can't pass up or he somehow swindles someone again like he always does towards the end of the summer or like midsummer. So, yeah, he's never not working. I'm strictly believe in that he's just always working, always on the phones, always doing something, always has something planned, has a notepad by his bed, be like, what can I do tomorrow? Let's see what I can do. And then go from there. But trading for a wide receiver, I don't think so. But I can definitely see him signing another wide receiver because I still don't think the wide receiver 3 spot's locked up yet.
PY.
I think there's zero chance just because, I don't think, would we all love DeAndre Hopkins? That'd be amazing. I would be so happy. I don't see it just because, we have our top 2 receivers, which is great. And then you have the combo of Quez and the dude from Atlanta, who I'm not even going to say his name because I will mispronounce it. I won't even begin to do that. But it's just the combination of them is going to be your 3 or 4. Like Jake said, maybe you sign a guy, but who would even be out there that you could trade for? Like the only one I can think of is Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
And how many more assets does he need to put into the wide receiver position?
Always looking to get better for Howie
This is,
Roseman.
and I'm all for it. Like if Chucks has some like magical trade proposal that's gonna make me like weep, I'm all for it. Pressure's on you, buddy.
I don't think I'll have a magical trade proposal. To answer the poll, I'll disagree because if we're trying to predict what's going to happen, I'll say I don't see Howie doing it. But there is a move that I would do. I don't see it happening, but I think it would make a lot of sense and it would fit both teams. But I'll get into that in a second. But do I think it'll happen? I'll disagree because a lot of the stuff that I want to happen doesn't really happen anyway. If we're talking about signing a wide receiver, I'll go down a list of the wide receivers per spot rec, the top wide receivers that are still available in free agency. We got Kenny Galladay, Julio Jones, which a lot of people are talking about on
he's cooked.
social media. Byron Pringle, Jarvis Landry,
Landry's
N'Keal Harry, Sammy Watkins, Andre Roberts, Brashad Perriman, Rashard Higgins, Jake Kumaro, Demarcus Robinson, Marcus Johnson, Quintus Cephas, Cody Hollister, and then it gets into like really unknown people that I don't know who they are. I mean T.Y. Hilton, but it's.
I wouldn't hate if they signed T.Y. Hilton because he does have ties to Sirianni, and when he was in Dallas, like he did show he still had a little something left. Like,
well, yeah, he made the catch on what was it, third and
30.
Yeah, God.
So,
anyways,
I wouldn't do this to make him my wide receiver 3. I would bring him in because I still think there's some talent there. I just think the Giants were a complete another mess. I would bring in Kenny Galladay just to see if there's anything left. Because when he was in Detroit, oh my God,
yeah,
like I have to think like there's still something there. Like that just doesn't go away. Like you just don't magically suck.
Mm-hmm.
Like to the degree he did in New York. It's just you can't. It can't.
I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it too, Chuck. Sorry, I'll let
you're
but,
fine.
I mean, he's only 29. And also, too, there's a lot of factors that go to it. Obviously, there's a significant jump when you go from Matthew Stafford to Daniel Jones. That's one thing. Now,
or to the Giants, I mean.
Right, yeah, to the Giants in general. So it could have been like just a poor scheme fit. It didn't work out for him. Maybe the offensive coordinator, whoever it was, just didn't scheme him up properly, which always happens throughout the league. Look at like Jimmy Graham, for example. I know it's a different position, but look at what happened when he left New Orleans.
Yep.
He was on the way to be a Hall of Fame tight end when he was in New Orleans, but then he left and he just wasn't the same. So it's an interesting name. And I mean, you definitely have 2 top 10, in my opinion, 2 top 10 wide receivers.
So you don't even need them to be elite. Like you just need them. If you can get like tight end, if you can get half of what he was in Detroit, you're golden.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And to PY, to your point, like it wouldn't cost much. Like you know what I mean? At this stage,
not guaranteed contract.
Yeah, and be a minimum. So, it wouldn't hurt to try. You know what I mean? So
low risk, high reward, man. I mean, that's what Howie does. If there was a wide receiver that you were going to go out and get in free agency that's low risk, high reward that matches all the other moves we've done in free agency, Galladay fits that. I don't really think Landry fits that because he's hurt all the time, and I just think he's cooked with his legs. And Julio is definitely cooked. I don't know what these people are talking about, like because I've seen like 12 different articles connecting us together. But I'm like, I don't see it. Like, I'd rather go with Quez and the dude from Atlanta than throw money at Julio.
Mm. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at Julio either, to be honest. I wouldn't hate Julio.
I think overall, because we have some comments in the chat that so Tom loves Landry. SGM says Landry could provide a lot of intangibles. Always has been a great blocker with sure hands. To a better extent, can play Pascal's role. I mean, that's a fair point too. He says Galladay is completely washed. I want nothing to do with him. He couldn't stay on the field with the Giants. Had similar injury issues in Detroit. Matthew Walsh says Galladay has hands made of bricks. No thanks. I think when you're talking about these guys left in free agency, you're talking about bottom of the barrel for a reason.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not going to. If I were to choose between Landry and Galladay, honestly, I don't know. To me, it's a toss-up. It's because I can see arguments for either.
As
or.
someone who's watched Landry the last 2 years, like there's nothing left. Like he can't stay on the field. Like the reasons why Galladay wasn't playing last year, it was all contract. It had nothing to do with health or skill. Like they just did not want him on the field because the previous regime paid him way too much money and he underperformed in the first year. So they're just like, you can stay on the bench and play like special teams every once in a while. And that's basically what he was there for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think that also a lot of it was because if you're paying that player that amount of money, you're going to want to try to get him on the field as much as you can. And the fact that he was benched, it's pretty hard to be paid that much money and then get benched. You have to be really, really, really bad. But again, we're talking about bottom of the barrel for a reason. Like they're unsigned for a specific reason, and you know, it's I hear cases for both sides. I really wouldn't. It wouldn't move the needle for me, but I wouldn't hate it if we signed either or. Like because just as a let's see what you got. If you don't work out, then we're cutting you, and you know it's.
Yeah,
what it is.
Be like your wide receiver 4 or 5. Like it's whatever.
Now, for our exercise that we're going to be doing, you know, we talked about we're going to bring up some moves that we would like to see before the season. Do you guys have any to lead off? Do you guys have any that are Eagles related that you want?
Yes,
to you do. Okay. I am going to Jake. Do you?
Yeah, I have a couple. Yep.
Okay, so I have. One, you know, I have two technically, but because we're on the subject of wide receiver, and I alluded to it earlier, I'll start it off. The one move I would want to see is the Eagles trade for Devin Duvernay from the Ravens.
Oh, that's a good
interesting. Move. That is interesting.
Because primarily because he's one of the best returners in the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he is on his last year of his contract.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the Ravens see him as, you know, a long-term piece. I don't see any reason why they would be motivated to trade him right now. That's why I said disagree to the poll earlier. I don't think it will happen, but you know, if the Ravens, who it's not an organization I'm really, you know, plug into or follow a ton, so I don't know what the sentiment around Duvernay is right now. But if they are willing to listen to offers for him, I think that would be a great situation because, again, last year of his contract, and we need a returner so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. Like, when's the last time we had a legit return man? Darren Sproles, right? Like, we need a returner bad. And you're talking about someone who would come in, and I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a huge impact on special teams for us, like right off the bat, as a punt returner and kick returner. And with Duvernay too, remember, he was having the beginning of last year, he was actually playing really well as an actual starting wide receiver for them. Now, like, do I think he is a great starting wide receiver? Do I think he has like the ability to be your wide receiver 2 or 3 for any team? No. I think he's a good depth piece, but to the point, we don't need a wide receiver 1. We don't need a wide receiver 2. We technically, Dallas Goedert is technically like our second or third option, right? So we really only need a fourth option in the passing game. Duvernay can fill that. He absolutely can fill that role, get like 1 or 2 catches a game to make a play, and then everything else on special teams. I think getting Devin Duvernay would be an outstanding move from the perspective of it fills an absolute need on an expiring contract for a player that is still a pretty good player, a great special teams guy. So that's at the top of my list, at least for the Eagles. I would love to see Devin Duvernay in an Eagles uniform.
So actually, I do like Duvernay. I think he's really good. But I'll also say it's like, well, Covey, he didn't start off great. I thought he had a really good second half of the season, and it was solid in the playoffs. So, like, I completely understand like going after someone like Duvernay, but I think Covey gets a really bad rap, especially for people in this city, because they go off of like the first few games, and they're like, that's how he was the rest of the season, and it's just not true.
Well, I think Covey though, like he did play better, but even as he played better,
He's very limited.
I wouldn't say he's anything close to Duvernay.
No,
No.
I'm not
Like,
saying he is. Like Duvernay is like he's a based on what I was looking up, he's top 10 in returns. So
yeah, he's one of the better return men in the game right now. I would so we need that. I've been dying for that. Because that could, as we saw in the Super Bowl, a great return can turn the tide.
Yeah.
hey, let's sign Deshaun just for punt returns.
I don't think Deshaun could even punt return right now.
No.
Like, you can punt return, and like we'll throw you like 160-yard bomb a game, like just one. You have to catch it though.
PY, what do you got for a move you'd like to see the Eagles to make before the season starts?
2 words: Yannick Ngakoue.
I knew you were going to go there.
Either you were going to go there or I was. It was just a matter of
I want
time.
it. I want it bad. I deserve the nice things I get. Okay, I got my 2 shiny toys in the draft.
Mhm.
I got Nolan Smith and freaking Jalen Carter. You know what? Give me Yannick. You make me happy. I deserve happiness right now. Like, are you kidding me? You add him post, and the fact that he's not signed is insane. Nothing would like surprise me more if after June 1st, I was just like, yeah, we'll go get him. We'll go get
come on.
Justin Houston. Like, don't even worry about it, guys. I got it.
Yeah, I mean, we still have, I think, right now, anyway.
Close to 20.
We have like 4 roster spots open still, which, again, it's the offseason, so whatever. But we still have 4 roster spots open, and I think close to $14 million in cap space. So,
Yep.
But the fact that Yannick's still out there, who had 9.5 sacks last year, I don't understand it, and he's still young, so I don't know. I don't get it.
Matt, I'm honestly not worried about safety. I think you have a solid safety room. I'm worried about linebacker more than anything else, because at least you have 2 guys who looked decent last year, and you have Chuck's guy who I have a lot of faith in.
Yeah, SJM says the same thing. He's like, he likes the combo of Edmonds, Blankenship, Brown, and Justin Evans. He's interested to see if the Eagles would use Ringo as a third safety. Maddox plays some safety as well. So, like, yeah, I think safety room I'm fine with. As long as everyone, now, because now that we got Sid, and I know he was a 3rd-round pick, but I do expect
no matter.
Yeah, I do expect him to start, and I think Edmonds as your other safety opposite him is solid. That's absolutely solid. So I think safety is fine. Now, would I hate to bring in another guy to compete and push? No, I wouldn't hate it, but I don't think it's necessary to to trade for someone.
I think it's like it's like 2021, where it's like like you have McLeod. Who else is there? Who the hell else? Anthony Harris, and Marcus Apps, which was not special, but like it was a solid room, especially add to the fact that like you have the best like cornerback room in the NFL. Like, I don't think safety is going to be as big of a deal as people want to make it out to be. And even look at it last year, like everyone's like, oh, we're missing Gardner Johnson. He didn't play 6 games. You wouldn't even have known
that he didn't play 6 games.
Yeah, well, remember he missed 6 games because he was hurt.
No, I know that.
We knew.
Yeah, we knew.
We felt it. You felt his absence.
Oh, we got murdered those like 2-3 games after he got hurt.
Like,
we got murdered.
When he was out, you felt his absence. Like there was there weren't a lot of plays made on the back end.
Turnovers went down tremendously.
Yeah, our presence in the slot too, opposite of Maddox.
Maddox was also hurt at that point, so I also think that played a bigger role.
Yeah, and then without CJ, like that hurt us. So I disagree. Like I think that's you're making revisionist history. when he was out, we felt it. I remember like all of us were like, damn, like we need CJ, we need Gardner Johnson back. We need Gardner Johnson back because he was like we were missing. Remember, he was before he got hurt, he was coming up with all these interceptions, making plays on the back end left and right. When he went out, we lost that.
Yeah.
Like that stopped. So
Yeah, but if you look at all his interceptions, like 99% of them are like someone else makes a play and he's just right next to the guy.
yeah, but that's also being in the right place at the right time. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying that some luck has to do with it, but that's also with every interception out there too. There's also like if you look at Trevon Diggs when he had his rookie year, was it rookie year or sophomore year? Sophomore year. When he had a bunch of interceptions. Yeah, a bunch of them were about luck, but I think part of it is being there, knowing where to be and being at the right place at the right time. That's part of having good instincts. That if you are around the ball a lot, you are increasing your chances, your opportunities to make plays like that and get takeaways. So I don't think we can take anything away from that. I mean, I think people that try to downplay Gardner Johnson's impact last year, I think you're just being bitter about how he departed, and now you're using revisionist history. Like there was a reason why we all wanted him back. There was absolute reason why we all wanted him back because he was a playmaker for us, a big part of our defense. So, I don't agree with that at all. And SGM says Darius Slay looked average when Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Maddox were hurt.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not going to. I disagree with some of what Chauncey has done. Ever since he's entered free agency, but I'm not going to go back and downplay what he did for us. He was he was a beast for us. So, Jake, Eagles moves that you want to see.
Obviously, like we talked about, Julio was one of them. I just wouldn't mind it. Yannick was another one. My other one, however, because I'm still not sold on the safety position, the Eagles trade / sign Kevin Byard. That would be
really good.
Kevin Byard,
because they're talking about like either they're going to cut him on June with the June 1st designation, or they might still trade him. That's still up in the air. So
yeah, you should 100% cut him.
Yeah, but whenever a team says they might trade him with the June 1st designation, and they already said they might cut him also, most of the time teams are just going to play chicken and wait until they either cut him or they actually end up getting a deal done. But yeah, Kevin Byard's one of my guilty pleasures as far as the offseason goes.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance in hell they're going to trade Baker here. I don't think there's any chance in hell they are having any.
Well, actually, they could, because it's not in conference, so it doesn't really affect them at all.
Yeah, but like with the whole Gannon situation and everything, they're just like, no one's picking up that phone. They see the Philadelphia area code, they're just letting that shit ring.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I would love Byard here.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I think if we entered the season with the safety room, we're fine, but I wouldn't be opposed to bringing someone else in.
Yeah, if you add Byard there, that'd be
awesome. Another underrated, if we're talking about safeties, my other Eagles move I would like to see. John Johnson's still out there, and
I don't get. Yeah, he's. I thought he signed. Are you sure? I thought he signed somewhere.
No, that was someone else. John Johnson. John Johnson
the third.
He is a free agent right now.
Really?
Yeah, when I was coming up with the list, Scott Rack had him.
I thought he got signed.
No,
so did I.
So that's your reaction. Is kind of sums it up. Like, how is this guy not signed? Like he's young. He's a solid safety, and he knows this system. Like he had his career year in this type of system, playing cover 2. So he would know how to play this type of scheme pretty well. And so if you wanted to sign someone that could compete for a starting spot, John Johnson would probably be cheap. Just saying.
Yeah, so let's see, because I'm just want to look at stats. I know stats can be misleading, but let's see. So last year with the Browns, he had a total of 111 tackles, half a sack, an interception. Yeah, and he's only 27. That's what I don't understand. How he's
Yeah,
still
he's only
unsigned.
27. That's like,
And he only and based off of his numbers, he only gave up one touchdown, which
Yeah.
and had an 82.8 rating, which is solid.
I was a big fan of him when he was with the Rams too.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
a big fan of him when he was with the Rams.
There are safeties that sign that are much worse. That I'd argue are much worse than John Johnson. So
Like Andrew Sendejo.
Oh God,
remember Sendejo.
Oh, God. That
Anyone
might be the
else?
move,
Anything else? Anything else for the Eagles? Eagles side. I named mine too. If you guys want to name anything else, league wide.
As far as Eagles, no, I'm pretty much good. But but John Johnson, wow, I thought he was signed. That's why I didn't even put him on the list.
Yeah,
I have one more. I would not mind a trade for Patrick Queen or Isaiah Simmons.
Isaiah Simmons
would be interesting. Simmons would be interesting.
He's very, very crafty and
very interesting. I think the guys like Patrick Queen, Ken Murray, even like I know where is he? SJM mentioned Devin White. See, like I think these names are just big names because of the draft.
He's not great in coverage though.
They're not. White. I don't think they're as good as people are making them out to be. Now, would they be better than what we have for linebacker 2?
Sure.
For opposite or next to Nakobe Dean. Sure. So like I'm not saying
I feel like that's really what I'm saying is because as of right now, your linebacker 2 is Nicholas Morrow.
Yeah.
And before this year, do you even remember Nicholas Morrow's name? Because I had to look it up. Be like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah,
like I'm pretty good with NFL names, and I saw that I said, who the hell is this guy? And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
It's like Justin Evans was the same thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad. I think people just need to bump the brakes a little bit because from what I've been seeing, like, they're making these guys out to be like, studs when they're really not.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick, I know so many people wanted Patrick Queen. I know Ralphie loved Patrick Queen. He's been a big disappointment in Baltimore. So
yeah, Kenneth Murray. I don't think they picked up his option either.
No, he's been a disappointment. Both of them has been disappointment.
And if you remember a couple years ago when we did our live reactions for that draft, we all wanted either Patrick Queen or we wanted Kenneth Murray.
And
I just want to throw that out there that everyone was saying that the Eagles are morons if they don't take a linebacker in the first round, and all 3 of those guys are out the freaking door.
Yeah,
so. Just throwing it out there for the people who love linebacker in the first round.
And I think that's just my point, to why, like, that's why I think so many Eagles fans are clamoring for it because they remember the draft. When in reality, if you've been actually following these players, they haven't been that great. But again, can't hurt to bring them to be a starter with Nakobe Dean. I know SJM says that Agent Amos from Chicago will be a quiet but outstanding move. He's familiar with the side, above average, and will push the safety room. I wouldn't hate it too because he'd be a veteran presence, in the young safety room. So I wouldn't hate it. You bring in a guy that has been around the league, obviously, has a lot of experience. That could be an underrated move. So I wouldn't be opposed to that as well. Luke says, I'm not sold on Nakobe Dean yet because of how little he played. So it's not safe to say he's going to have a breakout year. I hear you. I'm not saying like he's definitely a stud now, like as we know, but he's going to be the starter.
Yeah, like he's your linebacker 1 right now.
He's going to be the starter. And based on what we know about him as a prospect, you kind of have to play that out. So
it's a first round talent right there.
You saw go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can upgrade the spot next to him. You know what I mean? Like you could do much better than Morrow, but you can't really try to bring in someone to overtake Dean. I think is our point.
It's like Edwards in 21. Like you saw a little bit and enough there to feel comfortable with him starting, and it just made perfect sense to add someone there who's going to help boost him up in Kaiser White. So, like, I have high hopes for Nakobe Dean. I liked what I saw out of him when he did play. He was effective. Obviously, it's small sample size, but like if you go out and you get like an effective leader who's going to be there next to him, it's going to help his development.
Yep.
Well, I think the thing too that people aren't really taking into account for, I know Tom brought it up on his show on Wednesday. You have to remember with Nakobe Dean's success in college, you have to remember who was in front of him, the two guys that were in front of him. And guess where they are?
Here.
They're right here in Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. So you talk about guys that he has chemistry with. Also, obviously, Nolan Smith was there as well.
Yeah.
And that matters. Chemistry matters. When you have that, like the guy, when they were in college together, they had that symbiotic. That's the word I was looking for. They had that symbiotic relationship where they could just look at each other and they knew what they were going to do. So that matters. And it's just about building up that rapport again and getting that chemistry back, which with all the championships that those 4 won combined, you're talking about something that's could be honestly really special. And I think it's something that's really going under the radar when you talk about Nakobe Dean, when you have the two guys that were in front of him that led to a lot of his success in college.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that no one's talking about is that, like, and this is just me, I think the make or break this year is the development of Milton Williams, Nakobe Dean, and Jordan Davis. If those 3 hit, and then you're heading into next year where you get more play time for Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Kelly Ringo, and guys like that.
Milton, no, because I think Milton's just a solid player all around. He had 6 sacks last year. He had 6.
Yeah,
sacks.
but he's going to be like a star. He's basically going to be a star there now. So,
maybe he might be, but yeah, no, he's still a solid piece, and I'm a big fan of the rookie defensive tackle we got in the 7th, who Daniel Jeremiah had him projected top 100, which
a lot of people, there were people that did like to have much higher than that.
So the fact that you got that value also, and that's another move that's not being talked about as much. Yeah, and it goes back to depth. So I think to your point, Pete, I think again on paper we could have more success as far as sack numbers and pressures go than last year, just because we're a lot younger. Obviously you have a lot of rookies, so that I understand the expectations a little different opposed to veterans, but if everything goes according to plan and the rotations go as solid as they have been, or as solid as they were last year, then I don't see why we can't have just as many sacks, maybe a little less than last year, but I think we still have a better performance than last year on the defensive line, but we'll see. We'll see. It's still very, very early.
I can't say that we'll top it because we had a record-breaking season, and that's no small feat. So I can't say we'll duplicate that or do better, but I think it'll still be one of the tops, in the league.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
We'll get plenty in. I've said it since the draft. Our sack numbers might go down, but our overall defensive performance, like you said, I think could be better.
Right.
Could be. It absolutely could be, because our defensive coordinator has a chance to be even better. And our cornerback room or secondary could be better,
Yeah.
So when it comes to timely defense and making stops when you have to, and just performing better against top quarterbacks, which we struggled. The Gannon defenses did struggle with. I think it could be better.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a quick break, and while we do, we have a message from Philly Sports Trips. Take a look.
Hey Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
All right, so that's from Philly Sports Trips. Make sure you check them out. It'll be a lot of fun to head them to one of those games. So definitely give them a call. They're the best in the business. So guys, let's transition now to NFL wide. Now, Don, what's up, Don? He does have a question real quick. Asking for a fan on the outside, do you think Chase Young is worth trading for? I absolutely do, depending on the price tag. But if the price tag isn't like enormous, why not? Like, you're talking about a potential, a guy who had elite potential and showed it his rookie year. You can get take a chance on him for cheap. Yeah, absolutely, we're trading for him. Absolutely, I would like to see it.
Yeah, and like you said, you hit the nail right on the head with the price tag. It's just a matter of what his price tag is. Obviously, he hasn't been able to stay healthy the past couple of years. He's still not 100% off the knee, so we'll see. I mean, he's still really young. I mean, his Pro Bowl is rookie year, which is a big deal. Yeah, I think a change of scenery, especially with everything going on in Washington, it's laughable. Yeah, I think the best thing for him would be to definitely go elsewhere, but depends on the price tag.
Yep.
You agree? Oh, yeah, PY with a nice yep. That's
I mean, there's nothing really to add. Like,
no, I know.
He's really good.
It's just, there's just nothing else to add to that. Eagles D-line, as Jam says, Eagles D-line will rotate a ton. I love Moro, Jomo, Williams, Davis, Cox. We can play Graham, Sweat, even Barnett in line when we bring Reddick and Smith to the outside. And then, obviously, Eagles landed says, you forgot Carter. Yes, Jalen Carter. All right, so let's get to league-wide. So, Jake, why don't you get us off one of your ideas on the wish list of transactions you want to see happen?
One move that I kind of thought of, I just thought it'd be fun. He had a bit of a down year last year, and I think it would just be best for him to kind of not reignite. That's the word I'm looking for. Reignite his career, because he's only been in the league only a handful of seasons. But I'd like to see the Saints trade for Hunter Renfrow.
Interesting.
Get that reunion back with Derek Carr and
Carr. Okay.
So
that's an interesting possible. Yeah. Like, if you were, I didn't even think of him, but like, since they're gonna be like kind of retooling everything,
right?
I could kind of see Renfrow being on the trade block, and that's the type of move I could totally see Howie looking at and being like, "Yeah, let's see what happens."
I mean, Hunter Renfrow is a fun player. I mean, for theoretically, if the Eagles were to make the move, I wouldn't be upset, because that's just another small wide receiver 3. He'd be perfect in the slot, kind of like similar to
he's awesome. Yeah,
like a Cole Beasley type.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, for the Saints,
his head is on straight.
Yeah,
his head is on straight. Yeah. Yeah. Hunter Renfrow to the Saints. I can see that. That'd be interesting.
I would much rather have Hunter Renfrow and Julio freaking Jones.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Well, yeah, now, yeah.
Yeah. PY.
What, you mean like around the league?
Yeah. Move around the league that you want to see happen before week 1.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Oh, God, I'm prepared again. All right, so I have like 6 that I came up with. I'm going to start off with a low key, more of a low key move, but it's one of my guys that I've had, and he might be past his prime, and he might be twilight of his career, but I think for one last hurrah, I would like to see Kareem Hunt sign with the Bengals. He would stay in Ohio, where he's at now. Or what was that, with Cleveland, obviously.
Right.
He goes to a spot where Joe Mixon's future is
lack of
mark. Yeah, question mark. And if you look at the Bengals depth chart behind Joe Mixon, they have my guy Chase Brown, which I'm very high on, but he is also a rookie. And then they got Travion Williams, who could be solid. But if Mixon leaves and you need another guy with those two, I think Kareem Hunt would make a lot of sense. Veteran guy, can run that system. Talking about the wide zone system. Absolutely can run it, would provide a veteran presence for the young guys like Chase Brown. He could help develop Chase Brown. So I would love to see Kareem Hunt to the Bengals.
You know what? I just thought of two right off the top of my head.
Okay, go ahead.
See, now you can't get mad at me. Zeke to the Browns.
Zeke to the Browns.
Yes, they need a running back too. He can catch out the backfield. He's a good blocker.
Maybe.
And just because I think it would be a hell of a lot of fun, and I want to give Lamar all the weapons, DeAndre Hopkins to the Ravens.
Oof.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Good Lord.
So he gets DeAndre.
Okay, so
He
you
gets
brought
Zay Flowers,
Not St. Jones.
and he got Odell.
So you brought DeAndre because he's one of my guys too that I had listed. Did you come up with one for DeAndre Hopkins, Jake?
DeAndre
Put your head down.
The Chiefs trade for DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh my!
That's what I said. That's
Hold
what
on.
I had DeAndre Hopkins. Chiefs.
Log off. I'm gonna do the rest of the show by myself.
Oh
And
my God.
just
No, okay.
go home.
The rich get richer, Pete. The rich get
What's wrong with
richer.
you? Like
So the reason why I don't have him go to the Ravens is because I think them already signing OBJ and then drafting Zay Flowers, I don't think they would trade for DeAndre.
Yeah.
I like craziness.
You know what I mean? But the Chiefs.
Shut up! Stop it! Stop! Like, wait, that's not fair. Like, are you kidding me?
That's
Like,
not fair.
Like
at all.
Mahomes gets freaking. It's on par with Brady getting like
Randy
Moss. Like, get out of here.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty
like,
much.
Don says D-Hop to the Bills.
I like
Mahomes
that,
would
too.
throw for 70 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Oh yeah,
He throws for 50 by himself.
Don, God damn it.
Yeah, I think D-Hop to the Bills too, because D-Hop did say the other day that the number one quarterback he'd like to play for play with is Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, yeah.
So I could absolutely see that. I didn't say the Bills because I have someone else who I'd like to see go to the Bills. So I'll get in that in a little bit. But I had just D-Hop to the Chiefs. I think that would be
Okay.
a lot of
I
fun.
kind of like seeing the Bills suffer, so I don't want to see that.
I
It's
mean,
kind of.
they seem to shoot themselves in the foot every year anyway.
I
so-
love. Here's the thing. I truly believe this. I said God hates them.
Oh, losing 4 straight Super Bowls? Yeah,
No,
I'm with
not
you.
even that. Like every year, they're destined to be something. They suck.
Yeah.
Like the last 2 years, they were Super Bowl favorites, and then they shit the bed.
Mhm.
Whatever it is, that last month of the season, I don't know what they do to Josh Allen's brain up there. Maybe the cold just like really messes with him because whatever it is, in the beginning of the season, he's laser vision. He's Pete with glasses at the beginning of the season. Towards the end, see my eyes going everywhere? That's Josh Allen at the end of the season.
Well, I also think with Josh Allen though, like they put so much on him to do so much that as the season goes, like it kind of weighs on you when you have that much. You're trying to carry like
Well,
He
man, not
was
everyone
the
can be
best.
Jalen Hurts.
he was their best runner. They don't have they have a number one receiver, but the wide receiver too shit the bed last year. Like they didn't have anyone behind them. They don't have a great tight end. They didn't
Be
have
nice
a
to
great
Gabriel
running
Davis.
back. So, like, I think with Josh Allen, you need to get him help in terms of like you can't ask him to be Superman every single game, and that's what the Bills do to him, and that's why he wears out and does a lot of these things. And to your point, though, like I know that we were talking about because Josh Allen, his play style, it's a very risky kind of like volatile play style. So
Mhm.
I do understand like he will take chances, and that side of him that we saw early in his career where he would just commit turnover after turnover after turnover, that'll rear its ugly head every once in a while. But I think overall, he's gotten so much better when it comes to decision making. I don't really blame him for late season struggles because in terms of I think that it goes more beyond him. I think he tries to do too much. I think he tries to do too much because the Bills put so much on him. So
Those damn porta potties. I'm telling you, no, God will never allow you to win a Super Bowl when you're throwing people through tables and getting caught in porta potties.
So we're talking about the Bills. The player that I want to see go to the Bills is Dalvin Cook.
Oh, okay.
I want to see Dalvin Cook go to the Bills because they would need they obviously could absolutely use him. And plus his brother's there. So that'd be really cool to see brother and brother.
I would hate if I were his brother, I would hate that.
I don't know, man, because like
wasn't he like a second round pick though?
He would, but he was also the thing is James isn't the type of every down runner that Dalvin is. So you could have technically the Cook brothers as your 1 and 2.
No, I know, but like
you could have
you're basically brought in to be the guy essentially.
No, but he was never going to be the guy. That's what I'm saying. Like even without Dalvin Cook, James Cook isn't going to be your every down guy. He's not going to be your between the tackles kind of runner. He's more of like a change of pace kind of guy, like a receiver, scat back out, extraordinaire out of the backfield. Like you're with or without Dalvin, you're limiting his touches. He's not the guy there. That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing Dalvin there isn't going to hurt or change his role. So exactly.
What?
Jake, did you have any? What else did you got?
Not the Bills, but they have to kind of. I think it's more of a race to kind of keep up with the Eagles' offense. I have the Cowboys signing/trading for Dalvin Cook.
Oh, you have Cook going to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I could see that happening too.
Just because obviously Pollard's coming off the ankle.
Yeah.
Even though if he might be 100%, he might be a little slow to start the year.
Their 6th round pick is he's going to be an all pro. You didn't know that?
I forgot about him too. He's going to be keep an eye out on him. He's going to be a problem. He was a joystick in college, but yeah, we'll see.
But if you breathe on him, he goes down.
Yeah, no, that's true. But his pad level's so low. That's the only tough part.
Yeah. No, I do like Deuce Vaughn. I like Deuce Vaughn. I think it's kind of neat that he went to the Dallas Cowboys. His dad works there. Yeah, that's pretty really cool. I just, not that he's on the Cowboys, I'm not going to be rooting for him.
Yeah, no.
But, real quick side note: SJM says he's talking about the Eagles working out DJ Fluker and all of that. He hasn't played since 2020, but is in incredible shape and clearly well rested. We'll see if I was telling my friend if Stoutland gets Fluker to even be a really good backup for us. That's a win.
It's a win. Yeah,
that's a win. Even if he's a good backup, that is a win. I would think that. Don says Dalvin Cook to the Ravens. I could see.
There we go. Let's have some more fun.
Yeah, I can see that too. Play behind Baker Dobbins. SJM says Joe Mixon has some Ray Rice in him. If you catch my drift,
Joe Mixon has Ray Rice on steroids.
I like Dalvin Cook a lot. He's already had one major knee injury, and the injuries wear and tear are starting to mount. They are. Yeah. He's lost a little bit. He's lost a little bit. My next one I will mention. So I did Kareem Hunt, I did Dalvin Cook. Okay, so now we're getting some interesting ones. The Jets just lost. Looks like they lost Alan Lazard. Right? Did any updates about his injury come
No, they haven't said anything yet.
Okay, so if Lazard is out for an extended period of time, I have a perfect replacement for him. The Jets can trade for Cortland Sutton.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's an upgrade, actually. That's an upgrade. I like that.
That's an upgrade. Exactly. That's an upgrade.
Is he even available?
Well, look at who they have. They have Sutton, Judy, and they just drafted Marvin Mims in the second round. Now, there were trade rumors that they were trying to trade either Sutton or Judy. They ended up not doing that at the draft, but that doesn't mean that they're completely off the table. And if the Jets lose Lazard and need that wide receiver too, I absolutely could see Cortland Sutton.
Man, if only they had like a second round wide receiver, they could have played.
Yeah, like Elijah Moore. Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been nice. So I can see that. Jake, what else you got?
So this is a long shot.
Oh, joy.
Obviously, we know the reports about Jimmy Garoppolo, him going down. He's hopeful for week 1. You look around that quarterback room. It's not great.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy that recently has a minority stake in the team.
Oh my God!
Josh McDaniels looks up to the owner's
You're
box. Like,
you're
hey,
a bad person.
Hey, Tom, come down here.
You're such a bad person.
Come down here, Tom. I need you for just 1 season. Come here.
Oh my God!
Get Tom for 1 year.
Brady, and if he does it,
comes
he
out
deserves
retirement
it.
again.
Whatever else happens to him, he deserves it. Everything is his fault.
That has to be against the rules or something. Like,
I don't know. I don't know how that would work with the NFL if you have like a minority.
He's like
isn't
he like just like a minority owner though?
Yeah, he's a minority owner.
But even if you're a minority owner, can you play on the team? Like that's.
I
don't know.
I mean, technically he was a player, so he could just unretire.
Yeah, I mean in the NFL,
No,
I don't know how strict those rules are. I know in some
I don't.
other leagues,
Yeah, what I'm saying
it's
is
not a
I don't
big
know,
deal.
but like I would be interested to find out for sure. Like,
that'd be so
even if
fun.
you're a minority owner, can you freaking
Can you
for
play?
the
Yeah.
team? Like, and it's pretty unprecedented because how many minority owners are like former athletes? You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like one of those rare instances that we've never seen. So could he actually play? I don't know, but
I feel like that would just be a lot of fun. That would be such a fun story.
I do have on the side of the Raiders. You brought up the Raiders needing a quarterback, possibly. I do have a quarterback going to the Raiders, not a veteran, a young guy who actually was just drafted last year, but was already on the chopping block. Malik Willis. Now
Okay.
I had Malik Willis potentially. I was saying like I had a number of teams, possibly he would go to. So I'd like to see him either go to the Raiders, the Bucks, or the Vikings. So teams that could take a gamble on a young quarterback who has some talent but needs time. So why not? Why not take a swing on a guy that is already being cast out of Tennessee? But if you develop him, like maybe he turns into something.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see him go to one of those teams. That would be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun. Jake, do you got any more? I've got one left. So
yeah, let me look at my list. I think that was all of them, but let me just double check.
BY, did you have any more?
None off the top of my head.
Yeah, I am all cleaned out.
Okay. So the last one, I think you guys will get a ride out of this one, right? So I would love to see, because we know the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa's health.
Mm-hmm.
He's one huge hit to the head away from retirement. If they want to take a chance on another young QB that could be had for cheap, possibly, why not Trey Lance?
Yeah,
Why not Trey Lance?
Yeah, that idea kind of popped around in my head. Maybe
Mike McDaniel was there when they had him.
Mm-hmm.
He's familiar with them. It's the same, not the same exact system, but similar system.
Mm-hmm.
So I could absolutely see it. Like I think it would make complete sense. So if Lance, whether he loses or wins the starting job to begin the season against Sam Darnold, I think is relevant. Mm-hmm. If he ends up not overtaking Purdy, if Purdy is the starter there, he absolutely becomes trade bait. He's
mm-hmm.
You got to trade him. So trade him to the Dolphins.
It's not a terrible idea.
Yeah, I think he would be fun there. Can you imagine his arm with the amount of speed in Miami? You just launch go balls all the time. Just have
it's a track meet. That's all it is. It's a track meet.
Yeah, it would be insane. So yeah, that's my last one. I think I'd like to see. Actually, that says
one, but it's nothing big. I would just like to see Landry go to the Ravens so he can play with Odell again because that'd be
Oh,
fun.
true. Oh, yeah. Son and SJM says Son and Junior are available. They have Denzel Mims. I think you mean SJM. I think you mean Marvin Mims, not Denzel Mims.
Nobody wants Denzel Mims.
Denzel Mims is in New York. He's the one that was scared of Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Chris Coleman said was going to be the next TO.
Forgot about that guy.
Marvin Mims, yeah. SGM also says, I can't wait for the Niners game later in the season. Never has a fan base or players ever pushed a franchise so close to my Cowboys hatred so quickly.
They're just ballless losers.
The 40-winers. The 40-winers.
Yeah.
Don says, Zach Wilson to the Niners. God.
Sure. I mean, the Niners love their overrated white quarterbacks. I get it.
All right. So that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
Nope.
Oh, awesome. All right. So no huddle. Any quick topics you guys want to hit on before we get out of here?
Trying to think. Off the top of my
Spider-Man.
head.
Go ahead. Spider-Man what? The game?
Spider-Man 2. I'm so excited. I'm so ready. I've been waiting for this game for like 2 years. It's so close. It looks so good. I'm the biggest black symbiote suit dude ever. It's literally one of my favorite comics, and the fact is it's gonna be in the new game just looks awesome.
Well, you knew that was going to happen eventually.
I mean, I knew it for a while, but like just the fact that you got to see what the suit looks like, and I'm already seeing people complain. It's like it doesn't look like a suit; it looks alien-like. I'm like, oh man, it looks like an alien. Holy shit!
If only the symbiote wasn't an alien.
That's
an alien is an alien. I didn't see this coming.
Yeah, right.
SGM says it's all about the Flash movie. PY, let's go.
Yes.
I'm actually really excited.
I got my tickets for it. I'm gonna go see it on that Thursday, 3 p.m. It's the first showing at AMC Deptford.
Did you guys hear about what happened?
With what?
There's a lot. I follow a lot of like what the hell is the term, screeners or whatever the hell it is.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen Dave Pena. He's really fun YouTuber who does like a lot of like DC stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave him and a lot of people tickets to go see the movie for the advanced screening, and they got there and they told them to go home.
Why?
Because they had gave out too many tickets. They didn't expect that many people to show up. And it was more. They had more people there than there were seats for.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Wild.
Where was it at?
Everywhere.
Interesting.
Everywhere?
Like a lot of like I saw at least like 5-10 different screeners talking about it, and it's weird because it's just like in one general area, it'd be like, all right, cool, they messed up. This is like all over different states, and that's the wild part.
Oh wow.
Like there was one guy who paid like $500 for a plane ticket to go see the movie, and because they didn't have a seat ready, he had to leave.
So, a highly anticipated movie. They weren't anticipating a lot of that makes no sense to me. So they didn't anticipate all the ticket sales.
They gave out too many. I think that was the issue.
Oh, well, that's on them. Don't turn them away. I mean, I get it's a fire hazard. I get that part, but like, what do you?
Yeah, Ezra Miller they are in a lot of trouble.
Oh, as they should be. You don't turn them away from the movie. They already paid for it.
Oh, I was talking about Ezra. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I'm just really excited. Like, it sucks that there's a lot of cameos that were supposed to be in the movie that got cut. Like Gal Gadot got cut.
Yeah.
I think Cable's had a cameo and he got cut. And like just a lot of stuff ended up happening. Like obviously, like the Batgirl movie got canceled, which means you're not going to see more Keaton. And there was supposed to be a Batman Beyond movie, and that got cut. And not to mention, Keaton was supposed to be at the ending of Aquaman 2, and that's not happening now. So,
right.
Yeah, the DCEU is pretty much coming to an end. Like which
is fine.
Winding down. It is what it is. I mean,
my hope is that this movie does really well, and the fan support for Keaton does really well. That James Gunn is like, hey, Elseworlds, we do Elseworlds movies. Why don't we do an Elseworlds Batman Beyond movie?
Yeah.
You don't have any ties to it. It makes perfect sense. It's its own thing.
Yeah. Like my thing is like getting back to the Batgirl movie. Like it's already done. Like it's just sitting in a vault somewhere. Like
just release it.
Just put it like straight to DVD or straight to digital, and then just go from like call it a day. I don't understand why you're just sitting on it.
You're very stupid.
I just feel like that's just a waste.
It sucks. I feel bad for everyone involved in that project.
Yep.
Yeah, the girl that played Batgirl, Brandon Fraser. Just everyone involved. It's a mess. It's a total mess.
That sucks. I think that like WB and Snyder and everything. I think I mentioned this months ago when we were talking about it. Like, it sucks that DCEU is now pretty much at its end, and we're coming with James Gunn's DCU universe. At the same time, like they have no one to blame but themselves.
Exactly. Like I see Snyder people complaining all the time. It sucks. It's not good. It's not this. I'm just like, guess what? The guy who was running, look, WB was a mess. They were idiots. Snyder, the way he wanted to do things were stupid. Like I hate to tell you this, like everyone was an idiot, like from top to bottom.
You can't. Like I was absolutely willing to give Snyder a chance because like after Man of Steel, I was like, I like this movie. Like, I am open. I'm down for it. And when Batman versus Superman was coming out, I was like, all right, I'm gonna be hopeful because I think that they could do well with it. They can, people were saying like it's rushed, blah blah blah. I'm like, no, I don't think it's rushed. There's a way you can make this very successful. But he botched it. He absolutely botched it. And I even like the Snyder cut of Justice League.
It was good.
It was better, but it still to me wasn't something special. You know what I mean? Like it didn't hit. I think there's still things he got inaccurate with that movie, even with his cut. So it is what it is. I am going to. I'm excited for what James Gunn's going to do with the DCU now. So I'm going to give him a chance. He's done really well. So I was very, very pleased with Peacemaker.
I had no desire to see that, and I loved it. I watched it.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And
it was good.
You know what I mean? So I'm going to give it a chance and say.
So my favorite thing about Peacemaker, because the Snyder nerds all the time, they talk about it because they hate Peacemaker and they hate Suicide Squad, which is so stupid. But they're like, oh man, well he thinks Superman does this and he thinks Aquaman makes out with fish and all this other stuff. I said, yeah, because he's a moron. Like Peacemaker is the dude who looks things up on Reddit and it's like, oh my God, that's 100% true. That's why he believes it, because he's an idiot.
It was done so well. The show was done so well.
It was done really well.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give James Gunn a chance, and
he deserves a shot.
Yeah, he deserves a shot, and I'm excited to see what they do with Superman Legacy. It sucks because I love Cable as Superman. I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I really, contrary to other people, I loved Affleck's Batman. So
it's fine. In
Batman, not as much. Bruce Wayne, yes.
No.
I think my whole issue with him is that, and I argue with the people this all the time, is that Ben's performance is A+. His Batman was like C- just because of the things that they're having him do. Like he's branding people and he's like shooting people with guns, and I'm like, no, that's
Well, see, the thing is, I know it's a fine line, but I think that's more on the direction of. That's more direction of the director and what they want to do.
No, I know, but that's the choice he made.
I think Affleck's Batman is one of the best. Before Pattinson's Batman, Affleck's Batman was the most comic accurate Batman we've seen.
I forget which.
I still watch that warehouse scene in Batman versus Superman. I'm like,
Oh, it's great.
this is amazing.
Oh,
Like,
it's great. Yeah.
this is absolutely amazing. That's like, so that's what I mean. I think his Batman was awesome.
He's Dark Knight Returns. That's basically his Batman, and I'm just like, I get it, but he's just dumb, which is my problem.
I think the movie itself was dumb. I get it. The character though that Affleck played, Affleck's Batman, the way he played, I thought was awesome.
Him getting tricked by the guy who pisses in the jar is just the thing that bothers me.
Yeah.
Grace Peachy.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. I think his Bruce Wayne is good, but I think that the best Bruce Wayne still is Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
I'm in the minority. Like, I do like. See, I think Bale does a solid job. I think his overacting at times ruins it. It's like, where are the drugs?
No, I'm talking about his Bruce Wayne.
No, I like his Bruce Wayne. My thing with him is he's so like extra when he's Bruce. You're just like, you're hiding something. You're like a little over.
Well, how is he extra when he's Bruce? I don't see that. I can see what you're talking about with the voice as Batman, but as Bruce, I don't
like. So when he like crashes the Lamborghini, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, whoops, wrong turn. Sorry about that." I'm like, not really selling it here, man.
How is he not selling it? He got in a car accident. I don't know. I'll argue with this all day, but to me, Bale's Bruce Wayne is the best Bruce Wayne we're ever going to see.
Yeah, and he also has to give off the persona that he's a rich playboy. He's like, oh, yeah. I crashed my $1 million Lamborghini, darn.
Yeah. I actually like. I'll be in the minority. I think Keaton's Bruce Wayne is really well done in the sense that, like, it's not your typical. It's everything is subtle. There's nothing over the top about it. Like he stays in the background while also being at the center of everything. Like the scene where he's at his own party and nobody has any clue that who they're talking to. I love that.
Yeah.
The fact that like it's kind of like Pattinson in the sense that he's in the shadow and you're like, you don't really remember what Bruce Wayne looks like. It's been so long. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It has one of my favorite moments in that movie is the beginning of the movie where it's like everyone knows where this is going. It's, oh yeah, parents are gonna die in Crime Alley. Nope, gotcha, bitch. Every time, I love it.
Yeah,
yeah. I think Keaton's Bruce is awesome. It's different, but it's also awesome. So I hear you on that. Bale's is still number one because Bale brings together that duality of Bruce Wayne and Batman. He portrays it so well because when you have, as you see it, like as we know, Bruce Wayne in the comics and Bruce Wayne in the shows, like he's the playboy. He's the one that no one's going to see Bruce Wayne as Batman because Bruce Wayne's just the millionaire who doesn't care. He's reckless. And Bale portrays that so well, like perfectly. Like you see throughout the whole trilogy, like, he's going to dinners at restaurants and then buying the restaurant and then going in the swimming, like diving into the fountain as their pool. And then like he's going on excursions with the whole ballet cast, you know what I mean? And so like he portrayed it. He's falling asleep at meetings for the company. Like he portrays that so well. But you also see him in the certain scenes where he has that conflict of duality. He shows that effortlessly. So I think that
remember he was supposed to be the Bruce Wayne in Batman versus Superman.
Bale?
Yeah, that was the original plan. They were going to bring Christian Bale back, and he's like, "No, thank you."
Well, I wouldn't say he was supposed to be then. Like,
no, that was their original plan. They went to him,
but that's not how I'd phrase it. I'd say they wanted him to be that, but Bale and Nolan have made it clear they're just done. Like,
yeah, they're done.
Bale has no interest in portraying that character again, unless if it's for Nolan. And Nolan has said his trilogy is done. Like he did a trilogy and it's over. So like there was 0% chance Bale was ever going to be part of any DCEU project as Batman. There was never a chance. You can have a million companies say, "Oh, we want Bale as Batman." It's still not going to happen. So that you can't say that was the plan. He was supposed to be. No, he was. They wanted him to be that, but he wasn't supposed to be anything. There was never a chance he was going to do it. And I prefer it that way. I like Nolan's trilogy as its own entity. I like it being separate from anything else. Keep it on its own. And let everything else be anything else. SJM says Bell doesn't nothing without Nolan and Goyer.
Yeah, Goyer did the scripts. Gave it to Goyer.
I don't. Yeah, no. I'm saying like, what do you mean? Bale doesn't nothing.
He's not doing anything without those two.
Oh, that's like a deal breaker for him?
Yes.
Oh, I think so. Is he saying? That's what I'm confused.
He's not doing any Batman movies that don't include those two people.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes. Absolutely. Yep.
I'm always curious to see what would it, because there were two other options at the time to who was going to play Batman along with Bale. It was David Boreanaz from Angel, which I think would have been an interesting concept, and then this would have been like the thing that like people would have agreed with, but like I think it would have worked in the long run. Joshua Jackson from Dawson's Creek and Fringe, because the way he plays Peter in Fringe is very duality.
I never watched Fringe, but
he's very good.
Seeing Joshua Jackson in minor roles after Dawson's Creek, I can see it. You know what I mean? I can see it.
I bring it up to people all the time because they're like, "Oh, he's just the plucky, funny guy," and I'm like, "No."
It's the same people that swore Pattinson was just the Twilight guy.
The Twilight guy,
no,
yeah.
You know, like
same thing with Efron.
You watch him actually do stuff. Like you know.
Yeah, no,
like,
he's a very good actor.
He's an amazing actor.
So before he was going to be Batman, I had a conversation with my buddy, and I said, you know, would be a really good Indiana Jones, and he's like, who? I said, Robert Pattinson. He just gave me a look, like, really?
Yeah, Pattinson's an awesome actor. That's why when people were up in arms about his casting,
he's not big enough.
You don't know shit. Like, come on.
I'm sorry he doesn't look like three houses like Ben Affleck did.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was skeptical about Pattinson originally, but then like when I saw the movie, and Chuck can attest to this because me, him, and Andy and Peter in a group chat together, we nerded out about the movie like after it came out. I'm like, that was one of the best Batman movies I've ever seen.
I'm not a big Batman fan. I'm a big fan of things in the Batman universe, like Dick Grayson and Nightwing.
Okay.
The second I saw that and I started seeing like people put stuff together and I started like seeing what his Batman could be, I was just like obsessed. Like I followed like everything that they were posting about the movie. Like my friend lived in Chicago. I'm like, you have to go find pictures, like got to do what you got to do. And like I think I spent like $35, $40 on like one of the early tickets to see it like before anyone else did. It was so good.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it because I watched it twice after it came out on streaming. So now I'm like, it's at that point where it's like, okay, it's been a while. I can watch it again.
I saw it 3 times in theaters, and I've probably seen it like 7 or 8 times on streaming.
It's so amazing. All right, gentlemen, good talk, good no huddle. I always love no huddle when we get into it. We have time for it because we get to. The SGM did bring up Nightwing, how we need a Nightwing, and he says Nolan's Nightwing with Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the dream, along with Daniel Day-Lewis playing an older, beat-up Joker.
Ooh,
yeah.
No,
I want to see a Nightwing thing. Like I don't know.
Yeah, Nightwing definitely.
Like I'm almost caught up on. I'm almost finished Titans.
It's really good
on Max. It's so good, and
Hold
I'm
on
mad
one
that I
second.
forget his name now, but. The actor who plays Nightwing.
no.
My God, I know his name because I casted him as Hercules in my fan cast. But like, oh God, now it's gonna piss me off. But yeah, the way he plays Nightwing and
Brenton Thwaites.
Was it
Brenton Thwaites?
Brenton Thwaites, yeah. He is an awesome freaking awesome Dick Grayson.
I somehow
agree
found
with
this randomly on Etsy. It's like my
Yeah,
favorite thing in the world.
I love seeing Nightwing. We need a Nightwing. We need something.
I need a Robin. I don't care what happens. I need Robin in Pattinson's next movie. Like,
That, yeah, that would, I
even
wanna-
if he's not Robin, like introduce Dick, and
yeah,
by the third movie, make him Robin. Like, please God.
Yeah. I agree. I totally agree. Totally agree. All right, gentlemen. Good show. Good week. Next week, we will be diving into some fun rankings, positional rankings. We'll hold off on what it is talking about. But if you're listening, definitely tune in next week. Definitely keep tuning in this whole summer. We are getting to our positional rankings, and you know how much fun those are every single year. So definitely come back, stay tuned, and we appreciate all your support that you give us every single week. Thank you to our sponsors, especially Alonzi Travel and to Basio's Bread. Make sure you mention A2D Radio for 10% off your order. For myself, for Jake Frio, PY, Pete Evans, and for the rest of us at A2D Radio, we thank you. We love you. Good night. Have a good week. God bless. Stay safe. We will see you next week. Peace out.
See you guys.